Myanmar, Liberia, USA. Otherwise, there's no inches. No, 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 there's no inches. No Inches DIY. Hello, welcome to No Inches DIY. Today, using form ply again, my old friend, and we're going to make some bunks that hinge down from the wall and hang on wire ropes. So, I've had a few mishaps with gluing the hinges into the wall, but today I'm going to start on the form ply, cutting it down to size, and the size I'm going to use is 2.1, which is big enough for a king single, but only 1 metre wide because my ceilings aren't very high and I'll run out of room. So I've got my frames for my beds, and I've got ones already complete. Now I was using these Zenith decking screws, countersunk square head. Now they should really come with a disclaimer, they are not for hardwood. I've been snapping them off and really can't get them out again, so I've just been gluing the heads in just so they don't look ugly. But I used the drill with the clutch and set that pretty low and pre-drilled them, and I was still snapping them. So I just want to use them up and then probably throw the rest. So my next stage is this one here. I've just got to put the ply on it. That looks really good. I'll secure one side and then I might just need to tap that other side up a few millimeters. But what I'm going to do is I'll put my bugle screws in first. So I'll pre-drill, countersink all those, and I'll use the same pattern I used on the other side. So this is the side that's going to be hinged to the wall, and the middle side here will have some big lifting loops bolted in, and that will hang from the roof. I made that look really easy and really quick, but the truth is the first one, the timbers were a bit out, so I had to push and clamp and push and clamp. That one, the timbers are perfect, so it went together really easy. So now I've just got to mark where my little screws go, 2 in between each bugle. Hopefully I won't break too many of them because they are very weak. I'm going to pre-drill all these with a 3.5mm bit because I was just having too many problems with snapping these off. It's only going to get the slightest amount of grip, but that'll be enough. So the next thing I've got to do is take them down the back to my sanding area, sand, and I'm going to route the top sides, just round them over. And so a lot of sanding and a lot of routing, so hopefully I can get that done before the rain comes in. Alright, so I'm just going to route the inside and outside of this because that's where the mattress goes, so I don't want any splinters. And I'm just going to stop, this is where the hinges go, so I'm not going to go right up to there. I absolutely raced to get this finished before the rain. They're routed all the way around, they're sanded to a reasonable standard just to get the ply and that to match up. It's a couple of millimeters out, so I just sanded one side down till it matched. Still looks good. Alright, so I'll bash some of this on. Alright, so we've just had some torrential rain here, so lucky I got finished in time. So I'm just going to notch out these hinges and I'm going to weld a bit of threaded rod onto each one. Now the reason I'm doing that is because the other side, the bolts, the nuts are sticking out into the gap between the 2 leaves of the hinge. So they stick out on one side means they can't stick out on the other side. So I'll do it here and that should work really well. But I've got to check out, then I've got to just drill some holes and that'll get bolted in there. Use the 8mm, see how close I can get. Gets hot, this jarrah, when you drill it. Got to be careful not to get your bits too hot. I didn't quite have enough length with my 8mm drill bit, so I just sharpened up a piece of threaded rod to get the hole all the way through, and then I just had to bash the hinges in, and as you can see they were a very tight fit. Tight fit, nice and quick. My old philosophy, if you can't hide it, make it a feature. So I've got some chrome dome nuts and some stainless washers. So I've got that clamped to the trolley. I should be able to walk that in now. We're in a bit of a construction site here. I was able to move this heavy bed by myself by just clamping it to the trolley with a bit of chocking and a bit of blocking. Hopefully I'll be able to get this in to the hinges. Alright, the angles on these gate locking pins, one is totally the opposite to the others. So what I'm going to do is take the plate off the wall. I'll insert this plate, attach that plate back to the wall. Hopefully that'll work. Alright, that one's nice and tight. I'll do the other side and then we should be able to give it a test, see how it folds. Alright, so they're all done up. Everything should be bolted nicely. And then that is the fold up Murphy bunk. Elegant. Some of this over paint is not elegant, but because it's form ply, it's got that real shiny side. It should come right off. Have I got it parallel to the other hinges? Maybe a little bit close, but that's all good. So now I've just got to make the other one and get a team of strong men, because it's going to be very hard to lift up onto the wall. Alright, so I didn't get any good footage of me making this cable arrangement. So it's a hooked turnbuckle, thimble, swage, and here is just a thimble and a swage. This end goes to a shackle that attaches to a lifting eye on the bed. So, very simple to use. I didn't make a good video of this. If you'd like to see me make some wire rope setups, I've got all the equipment and I'd like to make a tune on that. So hit me up in the comments if you'd like to see that. So, the way this bed works is hook it on, and then we hook it onto there, and then we can lower the bed. Obviously one at both ends. So you're doing one at a time so the bed doesn't fall on you. One problem, however, because my ceiling isn't very tall, I could only just fit them in. So you have to do the bottom one first and then the top one. So if you've just got one bed needed, that person sleeps on the lower one. So here are my longer cables for the bottom bed. I click onto these loops. I've had to reinforce a section up here above the ceiling, which I had to slide tiles back on the roof and reach in and put a fairly solid piece of timber through there. You wouldn't want to hang off some plaster or gyprock sheet. That's not a recipe for success. So this shackle goes from holding it to the wall to holding it to the cable. I'll do the same over here. Just put my body weight on that so it doesn't fall down. Do that up. And then this bed will very cooperatively fall into place. Okay, now the bed is very low to the ground because the ceiling's too low. Ideally I'd have higher ceilings and these could go up higher. Got a bed in there already, leave the sheets on it, but because there's no ventilation holes in here, we can get a bit of sweat under the bed. So after use, we just flip them up for half an hour, let them dry out. So that is the Murphy bunk. And then obviously you can do the second one. So that's what the finished beds look like in the down position. It is a bit of a struggle to get them up by yourself. Best to have the second person here. But if you've got enough house guests that you need this, you've got plenty of hands to put them away. Thanks for watching all the way to the end, and if you'd like a tune on how to do these cables with turnbuckles and swaging, hit us up in the comments. Thank you, and good night.